It's filth and I love it. It's absolute filth and I love it.
I'm going to get you a t-shirt that just says, it's filth and I love it.
Hi and welcome to the PPUK Podcast. I'm Chopin. I'm one of the London Meetup, and with me is...
I'm Lee Cocker, and I'm one of the London Meetup and one of the founders of Prince Party UK.
And today in...
Episode 2.
We're
going to talk about the Symbol album, or Love Symbol album.
Yeah, this is the first album that I anticipated coming out. So Diamonds and Pearls is the first album I got into. I got into it quite late when it was already out. But this is the first album that I was like, there's a new Prince album coming. And, you know, full of that zeal of just discovering an artist. Yeah. And I discovered Diamonds and Pearls in like July, August. And, you know, we're getting onto October now. And
October of 92, yeah.
Yeah, I was a poor kid. I had to wait till Christmas, so I didn't hear it till December.
Yeah, I think October, November. So I got this for my birthday, I believe, in 92, and I got it on tape.
I got a cassette tape.
Cassette tape, yeah,
with the gold symbol printed on.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
case.
It was on the case because it was like if you broke the case, it was like because the gold symbol was on it, and you're like, no, I can't. And you had to like put the sleeve back in the case, and it was like, yeah, you've got to keep it because it had the gold symbol on the outside of the case. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. I'm glad you reminded me.
I remember opening it that Christmas, and it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I'd had the single from My Name is Prince and learnt I'd had the cassette single, not even the CD single. Yeah. Again, like I said, poor kid. And it was that single edit, that dun 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 dun.
Sorry, we're not going to sing. I keep on promising. I keep on promising we're not going to sing, but I can't make any of these promises, to be honest.
No, we're talking about Prince.
Exactly.
A little humming.
Humming, yeah. It's a karaoke podcast, that's what it is. I think like on our previous podcast, the way I described it was like similar to you, that I got into Diamonds and Pearls. And the way I describe both albums is Diamonds and Pearls is the metropolis of Prince albums, and this would be the Gotham. The Symbol album would be the Gotham one. This is the darker Gotham album for me. This is the, you know, very dark, sexy, lust, love, that kind of themes. Yeah. Very biblical. I think it's almost like an operatic Bible. Is that one good way of describing it?
Yeah.
And there's like I was watching 3 Chainz of Gold today just to brush up on it, and I realised there's so much symbolism in it, and 7.
No pun intended.
No, yes. Hey! So much symbolism is in it with the Bible, the references. It's almost like 7 is the 7 sins, and how the beginning of like My Name is Prince, God created me, you know, and then at the end of how he was born, and, you know, God created woman. It's an operatic.
And then it goes through and it ends in church, like, you know, gospel. Yeah,
very, very. And this is the thing, it's a lot of fusion of jazz, gospel, rap, hip hop.
Well, the last word sung on the album is Amen.
Yeah, Amen. Yeah.
Amen. Oh. Yeah, you know.
Seriously, it'll be a podcast and then we'll release an album.
Exactly. I'm going to talk about that ending of Sacrifice of Victor. I will probably spend about 10 minutes talking about that final bit of a cappella, but I digress. I agree with you.
Yeah. And like with Diamonds and Pearls, I think that, you know, when the first episode of the podcast, that we agreed it's a very visual album. I think this is very similar with the watching 3 Chainz of Gold, as in the whole of it with the different music videos, all kind of combined together, aren't they?
Well, I mean, this album is film score in a way. It's like a musical.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's a musical. Yeah.
To be quite honest, if it hadn't been edited so much, the album and the 3 Chainz of Gold that actually came out, if they'd kind of left full-length versions of the songs, it would literally be a Vita.
Yeah.
You know how you watch a Vita and it's like there is no like standing there acting.
That's a good comparison.
There is as much acting going on in this and little segues and stuff. And I didn't get it to begin with because I didn't know the backstory because I didn't have like fanzines like Controversy. I was just listening to the album. And, you know, I was like, she's an Egyptian princess.
Yeah, no, I was the same.
She's actually an Egyptian princess. And I was just like, do the Egyptians have a royal family? You know.
And for me, it was kind of like, it was like, oh, is this a true story? Is she a princess from, you know, Cairo? It's like,
she doesn't look Egyptian. Well, maybe she does.
And she's 16 years old.
Yeah, I mean, this is an album that couldn't be made today.
Yeah, I know.
There are a few political movements that have happened.
Yeah. And obviously it questions, it is like a story in itself of how he's been influenced by this girl. She's his muse. Yeah. And, you know, where she come from and where she's come from has influenced the album. And is there tension between her and the band and what her influences are? And then obviously with Vanessa Bartholomew, played by Kirstie Alley.
Yeah.
It's all about her trying to find a story or dig for a story or get a story or an interview with him.
That's how I realised they were playing characters. Like
because of Kirstie Alley.
Because of Kirstie Alley. It's like, well, I know who Kirstie Alley is. Like, I've watched Cheers, you know, like...
I don't think I realised that when I first got the album. I think it was only when I saw 3 Chains of Gold that... Oh, well, obviously she's in the My Name is Prince music video, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, oh, right, it's Kirstie Alley and it is, you know, it is...
I knew that was her voice. Also, since the absolute get-go, I always read credits. And thank yous on records. And it's part of why I still buy CDs and records today. Yeah, my take on the album was Diamonds and Pearls, the beautiful show home, and Symbol being the cluttered hoarder house. Because every time I listen to it, and still to this day, I listen to it and hear little bits and production techniques and, you know, finger cymbals and all kinds of little reverbs and stuff. And harmony part, like the harmony parts in a lot of spaces is so dense that I'm still hearing new stuff today.
You still picking up on stuff on the album?
I'm still picking up on new stuff today.
So for you, it's more of the technical things you're picking up from the album, and I think for me, it's a lot of the symbolism and the meaning, or what my interpretation of the meaning from the album was. Is that the same for you as well?
Well, initially it was that, but as I learned instruments and stuff, you know, that's when the album became a different animal, and it was just like, how do you fit that much stuff into a song and still have clarity? Because you can just layer a track and layer a track and layer a track, and it can sound like an absolute mess, right?
Yeah.
It'll, you know, like, and have this cluttered train wreck. But to have as much stuff as there is on some of these tracks and still have a tune and a groove is, you know, I'm not thinking stuff like Sexy Motherfucker. Sexy Motherfucker has is quite a straightforward groove, but
Love
like,
to the Nines or the Max?
I would say Arrogance.
Arrogance, yeah.
And the flow, like they're just kind of like the trains rolling into town. And not to get too much into specifics because we'll go track by track, but like to still have a song to be presented after layering, you know, just imagine people splodging different color icing on a cake, and then and at the end it still looks like a beautiful cake, and it's just like, well, that takes a certain skill. It's not just layering every single idea.
And that helps me because obviously technically I don't understand that, but for you to say that, I was like, oh, right, okay, and then I'll probably listen to it again, and then I'll hear what you've just said, and like, oh, right, I understand what you're talking about. But yeah, no, I can appreciate that, and someone like you, your appreciation of that. Shall we go into track by track?
Yeah, sure.
So the first song of the opera. My Name is Prince.
Can I go with that one first? Right.
Go for it.
I love this song. Oh my god! Right. So my name is. You can tell I'm getting elevated right from the get-go.
No, this is why I like you. You know that.
My Name is Prince. Not only was Symbol the first album that I listened to, My Name is Prince was the first single I bought. Everything else I was given. Thunder was Thunder was the first song I got into, but I got the picture disc. Not because I bought it, because this guy wanted to go out with my sister.
Okay, go on.
And he lent it to me and was just like, put a good word in with your sister. And I was like, sure. He's got good taste in music.
He's got good taste in music. Hold on, let me go and play this.
Of course, he was never to be seen again. Because, you know.
But you've still got the track.
Yeah, well, I've still got a couple of records he gave me. He was a nice guy, actually, but...
What was his name? Let's get.
No, I'm not going into names. But let's just say it's a bad dating advice to try to get to someone through their little brother.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Here's a Prince album. Let me date your sister.
Exactly.
Or here's a Prince track. Let me date your sister.
Well, so My Name is Prince is the first one that I bought off the get go with my own money. And it was the single with To Whomever It May Concern, which was I didn't know at the time. I just thought it was a really strange song. But it was a collection of it was an album sampler. It was an advert for the album.
Is that the one with the...
To Whomever It May Concern.
Yeah, isn't that the video advert where...
Stereo.
Is that the one where he's DJing on the decks?
Yes, yeah. And when he's got the cloud guitar, it's got the yellow cloud, and he's got a mask, and he's got in a DJ booth.
And it samples all the different songs on the album, and then he kind of like throws the cymbal as if he's throwing the cymbal out, and then it comes up.
New album entitled
and then it comes up on the
from Prince, the New Power Generation.
Yeah, and Maite comes in and she does the holler bit. And and it was like a big promo video, wasn't it? And it had loads of different samples. Yeah, I remember that now. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the video.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was a video for it until years later when I became a complete obsessive. But
he just admitted that. Yeah, go on.
Was that any point in denying?
No.
Here's my 10 different versions of My Name is Prince vinyl. Oh, I'm not an obsessive at all. I'm just a healthy collector.
There's a Prince fan going, only 10?
Only 10. There's a competitive Prince fan going,
only 10? Yeah. Apologies. We love you all.
It's fine. It's what makes the world go round.
Hi, my name is Lee and I'm a Prince fan. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Prince AA.
If you're listening to this...
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're an obsessive.
If you're an obsessive.
So, the song itself. The first version I listened to is the edit. It's, oh my God, blown away. See the video with the gold chain hat.
Love that.
Oh my God, iconic to this day.
And you've actually worn a hat Maureen made?
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Maureen. And you've worn that at parties
Maureen.
Several times now?
I'm not allowed to advertise Maureen as a seamstress, but
she's amazing.
She's amazing and could probably make anything he's worn.
Yeah.
She made me the Sex Motherfucker jacket and the gold chain hat. And... do you know what? It changed. Like, this whole era changed the way I looked for my whole teenage years. I started to dress strange. I started to cover myself in chains, try and copy, buy army jackets to make it look like the tunics, and wear military peak caps and hang chains or, pearl necklaces off the peak, and
wow.
It was just all of that.
I think I've seen some of the pictures. I don't think I've seen all of them.
There's not many pictures. My family didn't want to take pictures. They just assumed...
What's he wearing?
They didn't want to remember, so they assumed I didn't either. But sonically, the song is groove. It's just groove with, again, tons, like I said, tons and tons of stuff. And you kind of have to listen for the bass line because it's kind of sub. And there's a lot of rattle, a percussive rattle going on. It's like, like the scratches and, the voice being really screechy.
It was Prince, rapping and claiming his name, ironically. And then, obviously, my spirit animal, Tony M, rapping on it. And the whole music video is amazing. I still love it. And I don't think... Do you think the music video gets credit that it's due because of it being so iconic? And, where he jumps off the car and then, does the kind of, not breakdancing, but the dancing in the puddle. And
it pleases me so much that you say that scene, where he jumps down off the ladder with the chain hat and dances in the puddle.
And obviously, you know how much I love the gun mic that I want more than anything in this world.
My God.
So I used to, back in the day, I had, when this came out, I had a torch. It was like a white torch. And I would just spin it like a microphone. And I got told off so many times I used to have this torch. And I still don't know, I used to work in a cinema. And I'd have this torch and I'd spin it like the Prince and the mic gun. And to this day, that's the one, as much as I love the chain, I don't think I've ever worn the chain hat. I know this.
I'll get it out later on.
Yeah, you will get it out. We'll take some pictures. The chain hat, and we've had it at the parties. And there's so many iconic pictures of people with the chain hat. But I wanted that gun more than it. It was so cool and iconic. And this whole look, with it's like a police shield, isn't it? It's
a Minneapolis police department
shield.
It's like the badge when the police officer shows their badge.
Yeah,
and
badge. Even in
badge
that in itself is,
thing.
he's acting so bad, and yet he's got that.
Right. This links into this brilliant thing.
Go for it.
That's a brilliant point, because around this era, Prince got a load of shit for saying that he followed trends with hip hop, and to some extent there was some following of trends, but what I point out is that he didn't do it to become street or thug. He wasn't pretending to be, he wasn't pretending to be NWA. He wasn't pretending to be part of a gang. He came in as a teacher of funk. He's wearing a police hat, carrying the gun is a microphone, and he's wearing a police shield, and he's going, right, if you're going to approach the funk, here's the rules. I'm the authority on funk. I'm a musician.
My name is Prince, yeah.
My name is Prince. I'm an authority on funk. If you're going to sample it, here's how it's done. So his approach to it, was kind of...
So he is the authority figure, hence
I
love it.
It was because lots of people think, Prince, you're trying to say that you're bad or anything. You're trying to say that you're street. And it was like, no. He was wearing a police hat. He had a Minneapolis police badge on his chest. Mm-hmm. And he was carrying a sidearm that was not a gun. It was
a microphone.
A microphone. It said, this is your weapon. If you're going to be an MC, this is your weapon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah.
And so that was my take on that. I mean...
I completely agree with that.
You could probably dissect that and go, well, here's the ways that that's problematic in the terms of the history of hip-hop. But that's how I took him.
The microphone is your weapon, yeah.
My words are my weapon.
My words are my weapon, yeah.
Exactly. So... When I hear them talking about him following trends, musically speaking, in terms of sampling and stuff like that, yes. But interestingly enough, the person that he samples on that record is himself.
Yes.
I Want to Be Your Lover and Controversy.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I had never heard either one of those songs.
Yeah, because obviously both me and you...
So I didn't know that they were samples. I thought that was Prince just going, I want to be there. I want to be there. And I was just like...
No singing.
I thought it was, I want to be there and grind up on me.
Oh, right.
I want to be there, grind up on me. I want to be there, grind up.
But yeah...
It's and then years later I hear, I want to be your lover and Controversy. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing with him is you always go back. As much as you go forward, you always go back and realise the links, and there's other stuff you've mentioned that we talked about earlier that we'll mention now about the links.
Your take on My Name is Prince. I mean, kind of say mine is rattly mess, but somehow still had this monster groove. He samples himself and puts himself as an authority on funk rather than the kind of selling himself as street, which is what people took from the video when actually he was saying quite the opposite, I think.
Yeah, no, I love that, and I completely agree with it. And looking at it now and seeing what you've just said, it's like, yeah, I can totally agree. For me, it was one of the songs that got me into hip hop and R&B, very similar to Diamonds and Pearls, I think. But this one was more of the rap, and obviously, I was always singing Tony M's bit and everything like that. And when the song comes on when we do the parties, or I'm always, and again, similar to Diamonds and Pearls, this is another album where you can listen to it all the way through, and there's you don't skip a song. And this is, and it was his stamp on, this is me as an individual. My name is Prince, and this is, it was his stamp, and it's the first track on the album, and it's like, this is the start of the ride, or this is the start of the opera of, this is my introduction, and this is who I am, and this is what I can do. So
just before telling you by the end of the album that this isn't me,
should we go on to Sexy MF?
Yes.
Probably top 5, top 10? Must be top 10. I love the music video.
Is that top 10 Prince songs or top 10 songs?
Top 10 Prince songs must be. Yeah, sure. Yeah, must be. I can't even remember how old I was then, but it was like, he's using MF, and it was like a dirty thing, but it's like, it's such a cool, listening to it, and it's like, you're singing along. You're like, I'm not singing along. I am singing along. It's, you couldn't like play it out loud with your parents in the house. Again, him with the microphone gun, the yellow car. I think it's filmed in Paisley Park's garage area, isn't it? And they're playing the card game, and then they roll in, and he's like, you get in the car. I
think you on the wrong side of the town, motherfucker.
Tell your friend to remove his hat. Bucket of KFC, yeah. It's such a great music video.
Do you know the weirdest thing is when we went to the celebration, we were taking a cab home, and the cab driver was like playing some Prince tunes, and the Sexy MF came on, and he said, you guys are Prince fans? Like, yes. And we were like, did you ever go out to Paisley? He said, go out to Paisley. I was an extra in the Sexy MF video.
No, seriously?
Yeah, it was a cab driver. And I was like, this is the thing. Everybody in Minneapolis has a Prince story. It's like, it's a weird thing. And anyway, so and I was just like, so were you playing one of the police officers? He went, no, those were the local police officers.
Yeah, there must have been.
He hired in the local police officers.
Right, yeah.
To, just to act in that scene, so...
Yeah, but it's such a great song, and it's, again, it's one of the dare I say, dance fillers, and the ones that...
Dance floor filler, yeah.
Even for 80s Prince fans, I still think they appreciate this song as much. And, everyone loves singing along, and it's, it's raunchy, it's sexy, and the girls always love dancing to it, and it's, it's such a great...
The girls.
And the guys. So, yeah, no, and yeah, the guys love dancing to it. But, yeah, no, it's just, and it just reinforces his sexiness as, iconic.
Yeah.
Especially in that music video and, on the album. But, yeah, such a... And, again, it just... from My Name is Prince into Sexy MF, it's just hit 1, hit 2. It's like, knocking them out of the park. And I love it, and I can listen to it. There's not one, I can listen to it whenever. But it's such a great song.
It's, I think that the 80s fans can't deny Sexy MF as a great track is because you can't, like Eric Leeds and Atlanta Bliss, amazing horn lines,
yeah.
right? But MPG horns, come on. That was, the horn section to Sexy MF is...
And it's also linked to...
And the band is so tight. It's like...
but it's also linked to the 80s of the controversial songs that he would sing. It's like almost a descendant from that, if that makes sense. It's he'd always sing about the things people wouldn't want to sing about, or use words that
it's along the vein. It's in that family. Prince songs come in families to me.
Yeah.
And this is in the same family as Scarlet Pussy and Erotic City, of Prince going out there and
not crossing the line, but seeing how far you can.
His like not being self-conscious about his sexiness. It's just like it's just like pouring out of him, and he can't handle it. Like, he can't help it. He can't contain it.
And it's also appreciation of females, and not to sound too controversial, but it's the appreciation of females, I guess.
The feminine form.
Yes, there we go. Thank you.
Although, actually, in saying that, the lyrics aren't all about physicality.
No.
Like, you need to talk about things. Tell me what you do.
I suppose it's quite ambiguous in the lyrics. Yeah.
It's kind of like to be sexy, you have to have something to say. Otherwise, you're not sexy. You're just attractive.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, to be a sexy motherfucker, you have to be like intelligent.
Yes. Tell me what you eat, and I'll cook for you. Yeah, and it's also that physical connection, but also emotional connection.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's. I don't know. Would you say in the video that it is? Yeah.
No,
he's dragging her to the hotel room, isn't he?
Yeah, I think in the video's about the physical connection. Though,
some of the lyrics is more about the emotional one.
Well, the video's kind of like, for want of a better phrase, is a bit of a mindfuck. Like he pulls, like he leaves her outside the door. She opens, and then there's two other women there.
Yeah.
Like,
you want to join?
Okay. Like, this isn't what I signed up for, but maybe it is.
I suppose for me, it's like, oh yeah, that's it. As a Prince fan, it's like, oh, I want to be like him, because he's so cool, and he doesn't even try to be cool. Does that make sense?
I think the amazing thing about it is, as a standalone video, it's just this this kind of oozes sexiness. But when you watch 3 Chains of Gold, the scene after is him and Troy in the cinema watching
Barbarella,
and they can't.
And his mind's somewhere else,
and
which is,
and hers is too. It's like, you thinking about someone else? Yeah, me too. And it's just like this kind of outpour of sexiness, but actually in the theme of the whole album. Actually, it's a point of, emptiness.
And listen to it recently and watching 3 Chains of Gold, I kind of thought that the album is like the yin and yang of lust and love.
Yeah.
So it's, there's lust and then there's love, and it's that balance. And for him, it like the beginning part of the album is lust, and then part of the album is love.
Well, it's no coincidence.
Wrong.
Well, no, I don't think so, because actually, if you look at both, we've talked about the outfits and the way that Prince looks in My Name Is Prince and Sexy Motherfucker. Like, we've talked about the outfits they're wearing, the black and white tunic, the gold chain hat. It's no coincidence that those are 2 images that appear in Seven that he kills off. So, like, you and I are listening to this and getting deep into these and who this guy is. But he throws, and it's interesting you say a link to Old Prince, because he just throws it away at the end.
Yes.
Although I will say, shout out to Stacia Lang for both those outfits, and Troy Bayer's white lace.
And she still looks amazing today.
Yeah.
She's on Twitter, yeah.
Those outfits are just amazing.
Because she presented she presented the Ride Divine.
Yeah.
And she's wearing the Sexy MF outfit, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's wearing the black and white kiss curl tunic.
So, yeah, she's wearing his outfit from the...
Sex Man.
I only realised that, recently, last couple of years, I only recently realised, like, hey, that's the same... And I think you've asked you or Maureen. I think I'm sure I asked Maureen. He's like, that's the same outfit. Yeah.
Which is weird, because he's got a version of her white lace outfit with the pearls.
Yes.
He wears a white
That's an amazing outfit, by the way.
But there's Prince wears a version of that outfit on tour, on the Drums and Pearls tour. He's got the white trousers, but with that top, with the white lace pearl. So it's like, it's again like Prince is trying on his girlfriend's clothes and his girlfriend's trying on his clothes.
Still looks good. And even as a guy, it's like you girls wanting to be with him and guys wanting to be him. It's that. As a Prince fan, that's what it is. And it was like him embracing his sexuality and you know, and it's almost his sexuality and his masculinity as much as he put it out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, are we done talking about Sexy MF?
I think we need to be, because
we've got like loads of other tracks to talk about.
But we could talk about, because of the videos and because of the song. I mean, the song just is what it is. It's a monster party jam. It's, whenever a DJ drops it, the room will go off.
Yeah, and everyone will go to the dance floor.
You know, I play this at work and everybody, you know, the 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds and the 40-year-olds will be like, yes.
You know, it's would you say it was homage to James Brown? It's that funky embrace of sex, really, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, it's James Brown all the way.
Yes.
You know, it's Cold Sweat. It's, you know.
Yes, it's Cold Sweat, yeah.
You know, like it's... Okay, so
with the first track, My Name is Prince, and it's like the second track, this is my sexuality, and this is me being sexy. Love to the Nines.
Say that you love me like a river.
Because this is another one that kind of switches itself up halfway through, doesn't it? And it's when Sonny T then does the questionnaire with Maite, and it's, you know, it's almost like you're dating someone.
Who's the president now?
Does it matter? Wow.
Unfortunately, it doesn't matter at the moment, but...
Oh, right, yeah. Should we really be...
Let's go over that one.
And obviously, I think MPG and Maite, they did that recently at the gig at First Avenue, I think, and she came on and he did the whole questionnaire thing. It was quite cool. And it's almost like... how much do you love me? And it's also like you're dating someone, and do they tick all the boxes? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
With the questionnaire, but it's very. How would you describe the style? It's kind of jazzy.
Well, there's several styles in it. You know,
yeah, it's and again, I think it goes back to my point in the first podcast that Prince is his own genre. That you can't with that song. It's like a jazz. But then goes very dark at the end. So, but the harmonies, I love the harmonies, and and again, I know I'm talking about the music videos a lot, but it's an easy way to reference it. How it's like the photo shoot.
Yeah.
And I think he's wearing the pink, it's a pink outfit.
Yeah. Fuchsia.
Fuchsia. If someone's going to say, you got the colour wrong.
It's a fuchsia Jippo lace. Bolero.
Can we call Stacey? Can we call her? Yeah. And it's the whole, she comes along to the photo shoot and it's almost like she's revealing her sexuality.
Yeah.
Because she's in the outfit. But it's jazz, it's kind of funky at the end, I guess. I don't know. How would you?
Well, I would describe it as it sounds like the first half sounds like Strolling, and the second half sounds like I Want to Melt with You.
Yes, it's.
And those are two songs that I would never try and merge.
Yeah,
but for some,
I like Strolling. Yeah, so it's like, that.
It's going Strolling.
Yeah, like what did I say before? Like the 1920s, 1930s kind of American. I don't know what the word is. That whole, almost barbershop-y.
Yeah.
To that, but go on. Yeah,
it's Fred Astaire could dance to the first half, and Paula Abdul will dance to the second half, and
I feel like I need to make that video now.
It's so disjointed, but complete.
Could I do Fred Astaire dancing to Love to the Nines and then have Paula Abdul? Oh, that's interesting. I like that. I like that visual. Go on.
Yeah. Have to be the straight up video.
I know. I was just thinking.
Because then you got two black and white
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. All right.
Go on. Now everyone's going to say, Lee, have you done that video? No. Go on.
Love to the Nines. This is the thing about talking about this album, is that it almost needs like 2 or 3 like podcasts, because each track is so dense. It's like you say, you're like, which part am I going to review? I love the first half of Love to the Nines. It's, you know, it's groovy. It's light. It's you know, it's pleasant. It's kind of jaunty, and then it dives down to that dun 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 dun. And it just, you find yourself getting down and dirty.
Yeah.
And then skipping away at the end again with those beautiful, like, Tommy Barbarella playing those strings on the keyboard. And this is, like, we talked about, we've referenced Ride Divine and 3 Chainz of Gold, but there's also another video called Act 1, which is what aired before Ride Divine, and, you know, they talk about the making, they actually, Tommy Barbarella talks about the making of this, and that this was done, that those string parts were done improvised.
Oh, really?
You know, and he said, you know, the band playing live, and he said that there's some layers in there that just wouldn't be there if we'd sat down, thought about it, played it, one layer played. It was just it being a band song.
Right.
And that's an interesting, it speaks to how good the band is, that a song this disjointed can be just like
come together.
Yeah, come together, but with a one live take, rather than just like we're recording one part, recording the other part, cut the tape it together. No, it's the band just doing the changes and can play it all. Obviously, there's bits and bobs thrown on it, and Prince doing multiple gorgeous vocals.
Yeah,
you know, gorgeous. Oh, that's the other thing. His falsetto on this is beautiful.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm trying not to sing. Raindrops in your hair.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm singing Morning Papers now for some strange reason. I think it's because it's the next song.
Well, it sounds like a natural move on to it. Go on, take us through Morning Papers. You're all singing it.
Yeah, I know. Raindrops in your hair. Love the Morning Papers. It's one of my favourite ballads. It's one of them ones, if you're in love, it's the kind of song you listen to. If you've been out on a date with someone and it's the following morning.
Yeah.
If it's been successful, I guess. I don't know. This and Damn You, isn't it? They're kind of the two ballads on there.
And Sweet Baby.
And Sweet Baby, yeah. Yeah, it's just a...
It's actually a lot more ballads than you'd think of in this.
Yeah, I know. You forget that, you've got...
I think of this as like a dance album, fast album, but there's just as much...
It's kind of well balanced though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You forget there's like dance tracks, club tracks, and then there's the ballads, which is why it's an easy album to listen to all the way through.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a great ballad.
This one is... It's a strange one because sometimes I'm really into it. And that guitar solo.
Yeah, the guitar solo is amazing.
And sometimes, you know, not skippable, but it's just a means of getting from Love to the Nines to the Max.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm just like, oh, I forgot how good this song is.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes it's just like, you know, like Sexy Motherfucker is always a great listen, you know, and there's other songs on this album that are just, every time I hear them, are just like...
You forget how good they are when you go back to them.
Yeah. I mean, there's songs that are... Some songs are great every listen, but this is one of those ones that are just like, sometimes I'm really there and sometimes I'm not.
Yeah.
And also the kind of... how old is old enough, age of consent stuff is kind of like, I don't know if that's aged so well. You know, I mean...
You forget that part.
Well, you know, you kind of... Time was okay because he ended up marrying, you know, it wasn't just like some...
15-year age difference, I think. Yeah.
I don't think the term grooming was...
Yeah, well, I guess...
Nobody had said the word grooming, you know. No. It's an actual offence now, but...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was 15-year age difference between them. But yeah, no,
it's not about the years, it's about, you know, 15 between 50 and 55 and 30 and 15.
Right, I see what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's 15 years difference and there's 15 years difference. But, he married the woman that she became, and they grew in love. So it's cool. That's why this gets a pass, and I'm not freaking out. That's why sometimes I think it's great, and sometimes I think it's not. If it would just became some, R. Kelly situation.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah.
We definitely don't want that.
Then the track, the album would probably be a big no if it was that. But this is somebody who fell in love and married. So
yeah. And it's it's kind of, again, like I said, it's the yin and the yang of lust and love. It's that this is a song about love, and I think all the way through it's about his. I think that someone says it's like him sowing his oats and then finding love.
Yeah,
and that exploration of that. That doesn't sound too analytical. Should we go on to the Max?
Yep.
Love this track, and it needs to be played more at parties. Dre, play the Max at the next party.
Not just Dre, anyone around the world. Anywhere.
Because I don't think I've heard it. It's very rare I've heard it at parties.
I don't know. I think I saw Alfonso Starr, one of the San Francisco DJs, playing in Minneapolis. I'm sure of it. He was playing a lot of 90s. Although I did get to see Prince play this live once on the bass at half speed, and it was just, my skin was ignited with goosebumps. It was.
I definitely saw Prince perform this live, and it was definitely in 2014, but I don't know where it was. I think it was Roundhouse. I'm not.
Electric Ballroom.
Might have been Electric Ballroom.
You was with me at the Electric Ballroom.
Yeah.
It was Electric Ballroom.
Yeah, and it was like, he's playing the Max. It's like, what?
Yeah, second.
Wasn't it? I'm sure it was on keyboards.
No, he played it on bass first, and then went over to keyboards.
That was it. Yeah, it was like the Max. It's like, he loved that song. We're getting so excited, we're banging the table.
Exactly.
It's because we're going to the Max.
Exactly. And then he uses the line from Raven to the Joy Fantastic, which is used a million different times in a million different songs. Like, and here it's kind of, he uses that as an Egyptian motif. I think it's such a good.
And the way and correct me if I'm wrong, I've always thought of the Max was like, it's the name of a nightclub. It's like, the Max.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was when I first heard this song. It was like, I thought, was it some kind of new nightclub that he's bought or owns or something like that? Oh, hey, baby, where does the party at? The Max. It was like,
it's plausible.
Yeah, it was like, and it was almost like, when I become a millionaire, I'm going to buy a nightclub and I'm going to call it the Max, and I'm going to play the song all the time.
Well, Glam Slam was a song.
Yeah, I know. That's why.
And 3121 was a song, and then a club. Why not the Max?
Yeah. And I think and referencing the videos again, it's on 3 Chains of Gold. It cuts between. It's almost like the chain silhouette mirror image, isn't it? Of almost organ grinder style with Mate, Tony M, Prince. There's different shots. And then it's cut between, I think, Tokyo, isn't it?
No, it was New York, I believe. Act 1 show in New York.
Right, and people queuing up to get autographs and stuff like that, isn't it?
That was... I think that was Turtles Chicago.
Wow.
I think.
You're just full of knowledge.
I think that's the one. But it's got lots of raw footage from across the tour.
Tour, yeah, exactly.
Where
he gets picked up with the legs under his arms and spun around and stuff like that. But yeah, I love this song. It needs to be played more. It's very so unappreciated.
Good. That piano. It's so good.
Hey baby, tell me where the party's at.
There's this bit where it goes into, it breaks down. Pure love, forgive me for my sins.
Again, biblical in itself.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, even though one's life is brief. When you go here once, you come again
and again and again.
And it's, Prince talking about, life is short, and then killing off Prince.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's this is where you start to kind of, the story starts to move on in this song, in that, you know, he's found this love, and this is a bit of this is the first hints of, I think, in the story of Prince going, okay, I can be this dance number guy, I can be the big groovy guy, and
yeah, it's like almost like she's met his she's met his criteria in Love to the Nines, and it's almost like he's now taken her out to party.
Yeah,
and you know, it's like that. It's almost like you've met this girl. She's everything you want, or she meets what you want, and now you're out with her in a kind of nightclub thing. I don't know. Perhaps sounds crazy.
And in the middle of a dance song, he's started going, you know, questioning, you know, you left me such a cold, cold word to suffer in. You know, like...
Yeah. Questioning it.
Yeah, and it's like, you can see the character, you know, the character turn. So.
And the conflict between love and lust.
Yeah. And then he kind of goes into...
Yeah. But I like this song. I do like this song. It needs to be played more.
Yeah.
It really does need to be played more.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the first segue?
Oh, okay.
The one that is 21 seconds long.
Son of the bitch hung up.
Oh, that's it, yeah. So again, it's Kirstie Alley as Vanessa Bartholomew. And she phones him and he just hangs up on her.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind I'm recording that conversation.
Blue Light.
This is not one of those songs that I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure I can rave about this song. Is it bad? No. Is Prince trying something different?
But again, this whole album is a fusion of so many different things.
Yeah, so it was gonna make something was gonna make it.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time that he done a straight out reggae.
I don't question that.
I can't think of an earlier one.
Lately,
doing straight up upstroke. It's the first time he's used that groove.
Yeah.
On record that I know of.
And in terms
there might be earlier ones.
In terms of storyline, it's also about, if me and you are in a long-term relationship, you know, double heart attack, couple both die in a fire. Is that right? Fight. Sorry.
Die in a fire.
Fire. Yeah, I know. Sorry. How well do you know your Prince lyrics?
It's Prince setting light to Paisley Park because he couldn't get it the way he wanted it.
It's like blue light. It's not. It's a fire engine.
Blue light.
Dear God.
As the ambulance comes.
Prince fans are going to queue up now to hang me. You said fire?
Fire. Wait a minute, do Fire Brigade have blue lights?
You know what I said about, what was Insatiable, about being a flake advert and loads of people bought me chocolate. Now loads of people are going to buy me fire engines or blue lights. God.
Or flick lighter fluid on your
fire.
feet.
I knew what I meant. It came out as fire. I knew what I meant. And again, it's also the fact of how personally Prince introduced me to loads of different styles of music: rap, reggae, hip hop, R&B, and it was like, I like this, and I didn't think I would like this style of music. And again, I still wouldn't skip it because again, it's one of the ones where it's like, I've forgotten how good it sounds, and that you still know you kind of still know the lyrics to it.
Well,
yeah.
If you ever did.
If you ever did.
I'm joking. No, see, I'd already heard... Well, I mean, I'd already heard reggae tracks, so that's maybe why I didn't love it so much. It wasn't that convincing a groove. It's... I don't know. It's not, again, not a bad song, but it's not like a successful attempt at what he's trying to do.
And your knowledge in terms of... the track listings, did that ever change? Do you know if the track listings ever changed?
No, I've not seen one that didn't have blue light on it.
No, so it was all.
I don't want to belt with you was the last edition.
Right. Okay.
Which seems like a perfect segue.
Want to melt with you is kind of like fetish, sex.
It's filth and I love it.
It's filth and I love it.
It's absolute filth and I love it.
I'm going to get you a T-shirt that just says "It's filth and I love it."
And a scene from the video, like the one with him in roller skates.
Yeah,
them doing the Running Man and roller
It's
skates.
almost like, and this is going to sound really weird, but it's almost like the video in itself is like a sex video. Does that make sense?
Well, I know it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's it's the celebrity sex video before there was celebrity sex videos.
that guitar bit when it's just like a dog. And it's that there's this effect, and it's an effects box that he uses called the Zoom 9030,
See, this is why I love your knowledge. Go on.
And you can hear it really well on The Undertaker, where the guitar sounds like kind of like a quacking duck, kind of.
Okay.
And it's this guitar effect that Zoom do, and the first time I think on his rig, because I had the unit as well, was the Zoom 9030, and I loved that sound. It's one of my favourite guitar sounds, like a wah-wah pedal and that envelope filter.
Right, okay.
It's just, oh my God. And that square wave synth to start off with.
Because it has kind of like a squeal thing, doesn't it? Before he says, "Oh, like a dog," and it's like a squeal. Yeah, it kind of again links to very similar to like orgasm and that kind of exploration of sex.
Phallic guitar. Yeah. I love that, and that obviously that outfit with the that when he does it live on the Ride Divine with the gold Phantom of the Opera mask.
That's it. Yeah. It's very, and again, leads to the whole symbolism and the whole thing of it being an opera.
I wish he'd done that on tour, because that was such a fierce version of the song.
And again, it links to his whole dual identity, similar to Gemini and stuff like that. And it's, like I said, I still see it as love and lust and sexuality and, being in love with someone, but exploring the darkness of your sexuality, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean,
how far are you going to go? And can you do that with a loved one? It's sometimes, it's you couldn't do that with a loved one.
Don't look now that there's a river of blood. You must have been a virgin. What am I guilty of? I mean, it's filth, but it's
the darkness of it.
Yeah.
Well, less. I don't know. Would you say darkness or the exploration of how far you're willing to go in the bedroom? I guess.
Well, no, because it's just it's somebody losing their virginity. So, but like narratively, that would be Maite's scared that this guy is going to just going to be exploitative about taking her virginity.
A notch on the bedpost kind of thing.
Exactly, and it's interesting that Prince would take that song, and that because it's the very last song that comes on the album. Like a lot of segues that made the album story make a lot more sense got taken off for this song.
Yeah, we talked about it.
And there's a couple of other songs that if that had happened, I'd be like, you should have left the segues on. But I love this song so much that I'm happy to go scooting around, on bootlegs trying to look for these segues and put them together in after the fact. But this is just a slamming killer track, and I can love it so much.
Yeah, I don't think this gets played. Yeah, you don't hear this in.
No, you don't.
Why do you think that is? Interesting. Because it's so.
Because the man made 40-odd albums.
Yeah.
And how long is this party that we're talking about?
Yeah, I know.
At
least get the max. I want the max. That's all.
Like in 5 hours of DJing, I don't think I've ever heard this one.
No, I don't think I have.
I don't think I've ever heard this one on the dance floor. Missed opportunity.
Right, so as I talked about, it's the end of this video. It's it's less known on the album, but in the 3 Chains of Gold, he leaves the letter for her saying, everyone gets their heart broken sometimes, and then it leads into Sweet Baby, and if I remember rightly, she's walking on a train track with a suitcase.
Yep.
So it's almost like moving on, I guess, having your heart broken.
And he's on the bullet train in Japan.
That's it, yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
So the interest in the connecting, they're both on different tracks.
Hey. Symbolism. Either they're heading in different directions or they're heading to each other. Hey, she's going to get hit by a train. No,
only Prince is in first class and she's walking.
She's walking with the
carrying her own case. I won't go into the.
And she's wearing a red dress as well, isn't it? So she's less. She's less pure.
Yeah. River of blood.
Yeah. Too symbolic.
Yeah, that's a bit,
I think we're going deep with this one. We're going deep with this one.
Clearly. All right, let's turn the back to carry on.
Yeah. Again, it's another
killer lyrics.
Yeah. Sweet baby. I'm trying not to mess up the lyrics.
Well, ask yourself what's more important, him or the broken pieces of your heart.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
What's more important, that person that you loved that doesn't want you anymore, or maintaining your own self-worth? Beautiful lyric.
Protecting yourself.
Protecting yourself, no matter what you feel.
Pulling yourself back together and picking up the pieces.
Beautiful lyric.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic song. Tommy Barbarella's keyboard work, to the fore on this song. It's when I think of the instruments, I think of Levi's kind of like gentle guitar and Tommy's keyboards, Tommy Barbarella's keyboards, and just beautiful song. Simple.
It's a very, very beautiful song. It's a very beautiful song.
Pretty much the only time I'm going to be using that word on this album.
Dun-dun.
Simple.
Dun-dun.
Yeah.
Very, it's very, always reminds me of like a car journey and you're thinking in your head kind of thing.
Yeah. Stream of consciousness.
Yeah, nice. Like that.
Yeah. The Continental.
Straight onto the Continental, and it plays in my head every time you're in a hotel and it's like, oh, do you want the Continental? Or I think shout out to Karen. She once checked into a hotel on Facebook and it was like, oh, the Continental, and all the Prince fans were like, yay! Every time if I hear the word, see the word.
Did you call over to me on your stomach?
It will automatically. It's one of them ones where it's like if I hear the word Continental, the song will automatically play in my head.
So, like, here's how you know you're obsessive. My husband, every time we go to a hotel, there's you see the Continental breakfast.
Yeah, no.
He kind of whispers to me, Continental.
Yeah, no. I'm so glad you said that. I thought I was the only one.
No,
I'm sure Prince fans are out there. It's like, we do the same.
It's even non-Prince fans. If they're with a Prince fan long enough, it's like...
Yeah, but it's also like, when a Prince fan stays in a hotel room and it's like 3:19 or something. Or a funny story.
When the 319 bus comes.
Our mutual friend Nigel, he needed an O2 priority code. And... I said, all right, I'll text... He had to type in my mobile number, and then I texted him the priority code. And the priority code was 3121. And I sent it to him, and I said, oh, it's 31. And he's like, you're joking, you're pulling my leg. And I was like, no, this is the... And I had to send him a screenshot of the code just to prove a point. But it's one of them crazy Prince references that always triggers... Continental. I love this. And then obviously it references Maite's Believe It or Not, where she flips the coins on her stomach, which is obviously on 3 Chains of Gold as well. Love it. Again, sex.
And again, 2 songs fused together.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, sonically, it's like the first half is Peach, that.
Yeah.
And second half is like a kind of a sped up Insatiable.
Yes.
And the fact that the band can turn it round and just...
Me and you starring in a movie called More?
Amor.
Amor?
Love.
Again.
I believe.
Yes, thank you.
I might be wrong on that one.
I really do need to check my lyrics. I'm going to be one of these Prince fans that gets the lyrics wrong. Terrible. Sin.
I could possibly be as well, so it's all right.
Yeah, do we move on or do we still talk about Continental?
Yeah, to kind of Continental in short, great rocker, amped up, great video with Tommy or with that big purple axe in the video. Love that video. If you go like on 3 Chains of Gold, it just cuts and goes into that scene where he's walking and cuts between Maite belly dancing and Prince trying to get it on.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, she's
getting it on with.
Hasn't he sent her an invite or something?
No, he's got a sword and this girl. He's taking a groupie to the hotel room,
and she's getting ready she's getting an outfit made
for him. Yeah,
for him, and the women are questioning her of like, and she wants to pick an outfit to impress him. And the women are questioning her about it, aren't they?
And Prince is going into this hotel room with the gold chain hat and the sword, and I'm so into this look. I mean,
yes.
I'm just like, I want to wear that to school.
That'd be a bit freaky, but hey.
I don't care if the police approach me for carrying a deadly weapon. Half the kids in my school carried knives. Why can't I carry a big shining scimitar?
Look, I can spin it on my head.
On my hat, my gold chain hat.
And here's my microphone gun. Arrest me.
He arrests me. Looking brilliant.
But again, it's the lust and love.
And it's, he realises the emptiness.
Yeah, it's just a one-night stand. There's no emotional attachment. Are we done on the Continental?
Yeah, so we're Damn
You. Love this. Love Damn You. Damn. And it's almost like it's your fault. I'm in love with you and I blame you. So this kind of, and you may disagree with me, very sistery to I Hate You in terms of...
Yeah, it's the prelude to I Hate You, I guess. In that he doesn't hate her for something that she's done. He's hating her for the way, how crazy he feels.
About her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think...
But it's not like real hate. Like, I hate you is that kind of...
No, I hate you because I love you so much. And I think that's...
And you hurt me.
Yeah.
But I still love you. Mm. Whereas Damn You is just like, oh my God,
Damn,
you've messed up my life. I was going around the world doing everyone, and I was fine until you came along and made me feel
love.
And now what I was doing before doesn't matter. Damn you,
Yeah, damn you, because everything I do with other people is empty, like you said, and now it's damn you.
Well, I'm not a ballads person, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I've said before, and as you probably
what is your favourite Prince ballad if you had to choose one?
This is high because actually, my point of that is this is spectacular song.
Really?
Damn You! I love this song. It's so, and it's a great respite from the noise, and like whereas Sweet Baby is a beautiful, simple song. This is a glorious, Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire could be dancing slowly to this one.
Challenge accepted. I'm going to be editing a lot of videos. That'd be interesting to do.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to do.
I mean, the video for this was very simple, and he looked great and everything. But I think this deserved a Busby Berkeley. This deserved a Diamonds and Pearls of a video. Mm-hmm. Right? I think the video that they done for it, I think it's easier.
He's sitting in a chair, isn't he?
Yeah, it's the cover of the record.
Have we got it here?
Yeah,
We're looking at all these.
It's towards the bottom.
Looking at all these single vinyls. Oh yeah, that's it. And he's with the red jacket, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can see on the back kind of.
Just looking at it now.
He sat in a club with an old school microphone and and it's basically Scandalous Part 2.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, the video, which is great, and I get that. I get the point of it is meant to be that Prince is the only thing that we're so concentrated. It's just Prince in the spotlight, like an old crooner or something. But
it has that jazz club Ronnie Scott's kind of vibe to it.
I actually think it's too big for Ronnie Scott's club. I think if it was like a saxophone instead of a symphony, I think if it was just one lone saxophone doing
Then it's more that.
do 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 do, damn you. You know, if it was just a saxophone doing that, sure, that would be in the club with one spotlight and a guy sitting on the chair. But I think this deserved a full-on
Diamonds and Pearls budget
Diamonds
style.
and Pearls budget, dancers, you know, doing pirouettes, fountains going off in time to the
Bring
music.
back the ballet dancers.
Yeah.
No, again, I love it. And
Yeah.
it's not, I don't skip it. I don't skip this on the album.
This is, yeah.
But it's like, you know, the whole thing of falling in love with someone, and it's like, damn you for making me feel this way.
Yeah. But in answer to your question, favourite ballad, probably Insatiable.
Insatiable
Yeah.
on Diamonds and Pearls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Possibly. Do you class Anastasia as a ballad? That's a gospel.
Yeah,
It's not like lovey-dovey.
I'd say, yeah.
It's a spiritual track.
Yeah. And this whole, I think we kind of covered it, that this whole album is very spiritual, very biblical, very person dealing with their not their demons, but their characteristics and changing themselves, I guess.
Well, you know, like,
You've lived,
if he goes with Maite and stays prince, he becomes Prince of Egypt, right? Which in a biblical sense is, you know, not a good person. So he has to get rid of Prince
yes,
to move on, and
almost
you know,
butterfly.
yeah, this album is the Cocoon.
Yes, exactly. That's a very good. We love our symbolism here. Welcome to symbolism.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Right, are we leaving Damn You and moving into Arrogance?
Yep.
So I always consider Arrogance and The Flow as one song
Yep.
because
And-
it just literally, no pun intended, flows into each other.
Yeah.
And again, it's almost
No argument here.
the way I see it is almost like, and I'm probably completely wrong, Seven and Seven Deadly Sins and Arrogance and is part of that, and it's
It's, if you don't mind me interjecting.
no, go for it.
It's interesting you place it like that, like, placed in front of Seven. It's like when you said about the damn you for making me feel this way. It's like his last stab at feeding the emptiness with the same old way. It's the last stab of bragging. It's the last stab of, you know, pimp, rag, tinsy, pop, and a cane.
Yeah, it's almost the characteristics of him.
It's like he's become a cartoon of himself.
Yes.
In Arrogance, and it's just like it's the last time I'm gonna try and make this work and shake this woman off, and then afterwards, you know, but like a flame she came and I was no longer cold.
Yeah, like a moth to the flame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you quoting Janet Jackson now?
No, I know.
Like a moth
I
to
just
the flame
noticed.
burns by the fire.
Yeah. I knew she'd pop up somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Pop
it's
out.
that whole you're losing yourself to someone.
Yeah, it's like, you know, he does that arrogance thing. Pimp practice it pop in a cane, but like a flame which came out was no longer cold.
You're losing yourself, and it.
And he's trying to continue on as this badass, and it's
The
just
caricature of himself.
And the more he pushes, the more it becomes a character of Prince until Seven. Although I will say the flow.
Yeah,
Tony M was on point, and that horn section. Oh my god.
yes.
Oh my god.
Tony M.
Da, 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 da.
Why wasn't this? Why was it separated in? Why is it separated into? I always consider it. I always forget that it's two songs when I listen to it.
Because you do have Vanessa Bartholomew like cutting the cutting the two in half. Mm-hmm. You know, like a flame she came going along. That's a little shady because this girl was only 16 years old.
It's separated in the middle. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
And it's almost the
Contradiction,
the response to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the response to that question.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we okay with Arrogance in the Flow? It's kind of...
Yeah, I think thematically, it's the last stand of his ego before
embracing and accepting that he loves her and...
Doom, boom. And then the most gorgeous a cappella, some of the best vocal work Prince has ever done.
Yes.
In the intro. Yes. Even if you stripped away all the little effects of the... And all the symbols and stuff.
Literally symbols.
Yeah. And you are just left with this multi-layered vocal part. Microphone and a microphone.
Yeah. Yes.
Of this gorgeous vocal, about the 7 deadly sins.
Yes. It's one of... I think... My Name is Prince, Sexy MF, and 7, and the Max. So 7, yeah, probably third favourite on this album.
See, I didn't know.
And this does actually get, ironically, played at parties and clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is ironic. It's not, I don't know. I think people just like singing along to it rather than dancing to it.
Yeah, but if you listen to the backbeat, right? It's Tramp, like do 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 do. It's like it's a replayed sample of Tramp.
Yeah.
And it's when you take away everything, it's actually it's bedded on like a funk groove.
Yes.
And this could easily have come out of just sometimes I think, did this come out of jamming, how they learn cover versions, like the band just learn cover versions for after shows, or just because soundcheck is learning songs. I think one day maybe they were working on Tramp, and then all of a sudden Prince was like,
you got something else out of it.
What if we move this to G, and why don't we move from A to G, then to E, then back to G, then to A, and then it was just like, scurries away, gets his recorder,
and then he's going and again, it's very biblical. Angel come down onto me, and the hand she holds are very key. Words of compassion, words of peace. So I'm trying not to sing.
I mean, the whole thing. I mean,
it's almost like,
and there will be a new. I mean, he's literally talking about heaven. There'll be a new city with streets of gold.
Yes,
the young are so educated.
It's almost
never
like if Prince wrote his own Bible verse, this would be it.
Yeah. The Gospel of Prince.
The Gospel of Prince.
Yeah.
And it is. It's almost... I think the whole album, again, is... in the 7th Day He Made Me, it's almost like his own Bible verses throughout the album. It's almost like the creation of Earth, and then, it's different...
It's as biblical as Rainbow Children, it's just not dogmatic.
Yes.
It's as many scriptural references.
Yes.
But it's somebody who feels free to play with them and reimagine them.
But with 7, and again with the music video, it's him, and you've got the children, and it's him killing off 7 versions of himself, which is, I don't know, 7 deadly sins, and they're in this almost futuristic city, boxed buildings, and it's very spiritual, and a lot, peace when she kisses the dove, and the dove.
At the time, it was just so beautiful, and in retrospect, that video is quite sad. Them with lots of kids.
Yes, ironically,
but actually kind of beautiful, and it captures a moment of 2 people in love and looking at the future. That is actually quite, that transcends whatever came after it.
Mm. Words of compassion, words of peace.
In the
distance.
No, I love the remixes were great as well.
Yeah, no, I was just looking at album version after edit, 6 version, 6 long version.
The acoustic version.
Album edit.
I wish the acoustic version was just that. Like, none of the kind of bells and whistles, was just the acoustic guitar and his vocal tracks. Because there was, like, you know, in that Act 1 video, there was a little bit of Levi talking about it, and they play a little bit of just Prince's voice and the acoustic. And it was like, that is a stunning, like, even if he never put another thing on it.
This is probably going off, but we've talked about acoustic versions and stuff, haven't we? And they're very, very few. There was something we tried to do, and we couldn't find. There wasn't many acoustic versions of songs.
There's acoustic live versions from acoustic shows, but like on record, apart from say The Truth, you know, he played hard and fast with the word acoustic.
Yeah.
But then he wasn't a purist, so that makes sense, you know.
We will watch now for... Try not to sing. You can't help it with that one, though. That's really hard not to sing to 7.
That was written for singing. It was...
It's like if you put a Prince fan in the room, it's like, don't sing 7, they will sing 7.
Oh, right. 7 is like... It still gives me chills, and it's...
Yeah, and
it's that bit towards the last, you know, it's the last lift that, and we boom, 7. When the drum.
But again, I like we said that because it is one of the Prince songs that gives you goosebumps at the back of your neck, kind of thing. It's like,
you
hear it, and you're like, you get that Prince reaction of, oh yeah, I love this song.
I remember the first time, because I heard this before it was a single. This is one of the few songs that I heard before they came out as singles on the album when I got the cassette. And, you know, this was one of those things that I was thinking, this should be a single. Hopefully this is one of the singles because everyone should hear this song. And it is one of those songs that, you know, non-Prince fans love. You know, yes. there's the kind of the Prince fans love these songs or whatever, but it's one of those songs that non-Prince fans love. 7. It's
and
just
I've heard a lot. I think I've heard you play it on guitar.
Yeah,
and it was really good. I've heard other people play it on guitar, and you forget how good it is.
Just as a song, just take away the production. Even just one vocal line, the melody is so strong, but his vocal work is just. It's one of the songs, if I had the opportunity to go into Paisley Park or go into Iron Mountain as now and, you know, turn the faders down on everything, you know, on everything except for his vocals and the acoustic guitar. If there was anything that I could play with the master track for, this is one of those songs.
Really?
Just to hear, you know, it back bare bones, because even taking away reverbs and stuff, back bare bones, because this is such a gorgeous layering of voices.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where you can hear each time he sings, he takes on a new character. He doesn't sing just as Prince. No. You know, each different layer has got a vocals that he adds.
Do you think that's part of the storytelling of the song, or
I just think that's just the way he recorded that he did group vocals like that he took on a different character for every layer. It wasn't just a simple doubling of the original vocal. It was like making this beautiful chorus out of. You know, he's such a versatile voice that it didn't sound like it didn't sound like a chorus of one. It sounded like a chorus of many different voices. Yeah. And that's a skill. That's a real skill for a singer. To not just make it sound like your voice 17 times. It sounds like 17 different people, you know.
Yeah. But no, I think, the top 3 song on the album for me, I think. Should we move on? And more biblical as we can get, and God created woman.
That bass line with that love, see.
And God created woman. Try not to sing.
Everybody gets their spot in this band. And Sonny, his bass line on this is beautiful and doubled with those keyboards.
How would you define it? Would you say jazz or light jazz or...
Yeah, it's jazzy. He's like, it's got a swing to it, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. Again, it's very hard to.
You know, like.
Yeah. It's just this podcast is just going to be me and you making songs and people trying to guess what track are they talking about.
You know, he's got a chorus on the bass. Oh, yeah.
How would, in terms of the story part of it, is it the fact of God has created this woman for him, or
it's kind of rebirth, isn't it?
Yeah. Or how important women are to men? I don't know.
Well, in terms of the story, it's kind of confused because, you know, there's that bit, if I never see you again, it's all right.
It's all right.
They can have you, but I'll have your love in the end. Like, he's realised he loves her, but hasn't got back together with her yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of confusing because Seven
is almost like they're together and they walk into the sunset kind of thing.
I guess that turns it into his fantasy. Seven is his fantasy and not the reality of the story. Like, you know how the bit with Mighty has a nightmare with I Want to Melt With You.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's having his fantasy of the future. His dream is Seven. Now we're back to 3 Chains of Gold. If I never see you again, it's all right because they can have you, but I'll have your love in the end. I've seen it. We're going to be together.
I've seen the future and it will be. Hey, wrong album.
There's nothing wrong about that album.
No. We can talk about that album another time.
Oh, yeah. Nothing wrong. Yeah, okay. Another discussion. Again, there's that if I never see you again,
it's alright.
You know, and there's so beautiful. This last stretch of the album, the vocals are just. I mean, the vocals are great throughout.
Musical and almost operatic.
And I wonder if it is that. That's right. I wonder if it is that thing. Like the vocals start off angry and screechy, like at the start of the record.
And almost an evolution.
Yeah, and it evolves into this most beautiful, blissful chorus by the end. Like some of his best singing is like some of his best vocal work, especially group vocal to himself, is on this last stretch of the album. Is in this last stretch of 4 songs. You know, the most skillful vocals of his entire career, I think, are on this last stretch. Controversial? I don't know.
Someone's like, controversial.
Controversial.
I think I'd skip. I know I say I don't usually skip any track in the album. I think this would be the one that I don't know why. I don't know if it's. Yeah, I know.
I'm clutching my pearls.
Clutching your pearls. Yeah, I think I'm more in love with the first half of the album, and it kind of after 7, I think I lose interest, but 7's quite iconic. Right, yeah. It's more of if you want to listen to the rest of the story, the rest of the album to the end, then you continue, if that makes sense.
Like this is a cigarette after.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
a cigarette after.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know that has its place. This is like a kind of the warm down. You know,
yes. Yeah. Should we move on to 3 Chains of Gold?
3 Chains of Gold.
And this is the one that is the operatic climax.
I mean, this is literally.
It's opera in itself because of the different styles within it.
Yeah. What would you describe it as? I mean,
it's a statement, isn't it? It's about, the 3 Chains of Gold. And the thing is, if you wasn't, and this is going to sound controversial in itself, when Prince changed his name to the Symbol, it was like, oh, what do we call him? And I was like, you call him 3 Chains of Gold because that's what it is. And it's like, oh yeah, Prince's name is 3 Chains of Gold. I was like, I know what it is. It's 3 chains. It's like the top part, the middle part, and the end part. It's 3 chains.
I love that everybody got Victor out of that.
Yeah, I know.
Thing.
And I was like, no, he's turned his name into the Symbol, and the symbol's called the 3 Symbols of Turin or whatever it is. It's like that's his name, 3 Chains of Gold. I was like, Prince fans everywhere was screaming, what? No, that was my whole. Back then, it was like, oh, that's my theory. That's the name of the symbol. It's 3 chains of gold. It's a symbol made up of 3 chains of gold.
See, because I'd listened to him Everett May Concern first, I thought his name was Funky New Album entitled I thought that was his name now. Hey, mate. How's it going?
Oh, we're going to get burned at the stake. And this is the longest track on the album, 6 minutes and 2 seconds, ironically. But yeah, it's
a lot happens in that time.
Yeah, but it reminds me it's almost a theatre production. It's different parts and different segments being played.
There's
it's almost like you watch.
Hands, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, not to disrespect it. It's very much like as if you're watching a play and different parts. You're seeing different scenes on a theatre play.
That's not a disrespectful thing.
It's almost like, dun 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 dun, and then it's like it moves on to it's very you would argue if you heard this song without it knowing it was on an album, you would think you're something from a musical.
I think it's like a sister track to Strays of the World.
Yes,
they're trying to do the same thing. Initially, I used to think of it as a continuation of the kind of the music plan, not thematically or anything like that, of Crystal Ball. Like Crystal Ball, 3 Chains of Gold, and Strays of the World are these just kind of epics, that go on. I mean, Crystal Ball is something unto itself, and I'm not comparing the quality.
No.
Crystal Ball is, well, let's not go there because it's just so fantastic. 3 Chains of Gold, I love it. I'm aware of an element of cheesiness about it.
Because it sounds like a musical, because it sounds operatic?
Yeah, because you're listening to an album with hip-hop on it, and then this comes along, it's disjointed. And I think it's asking the listener to take on several different it's demanding, asking the listener to change viewpoint very fast. Like
in terms of taste of music, or in terms of embracing different tastes of music?
Well, in both. In terms of, if you've taken out a lot of narrative from originally with the narrative, I think this wouldn't have been a hard sell. 3 Chains of Gold, I think, would have been a much more better received song if the original version of the album with I Want to Melt With You off, and all of these segues, because you're getting used to the idea. These are stories. It's overblown. So when something overblown comes along, you're not surprised. Whereas much of what we're talking about the narrative of the album, we're not talking about the actual album itself. We're talking about the video, 3 Chains of Gold movie. We're talking about...
But this song isn't on 3 Chains of Gold, is it?
It is not this version, but it is in terms of that is the score, the orchestral score to it is in the background while she's doing the whole epilogue.
At the end, yeah.
While he's doing the name change
thing.
Sign, That's when the Japanese, if you're always with him, you never have to call him.
Yeah. And she used that, I think she used that line in several interviews as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She used that line.
And he used it in Rip Hop Go the Zipper.
Yes. I love that song.
If you're always with me. So I think 3 Chains of Gold suffers from the fact that it's kind of just placed there out of context and doesn't have the correct... it's like...
Bohemian Rhapsody, Prince's Bohemian Rhapsody. I guess. Someone's going to kill me now. How dare you?
Someone's going to kill me. I hate Bohemian Rhapsody. If I never hear that song again, it's too soon. But it's a fair comparison in terms, it's a fair comparison. I think the guitar work on this is much better. Much better. But,
Hashtag controversy. Dun, 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 dun. Are we finished with 3 Chains of Gold? Should we move on to the second?
Yeah, just one final thing to say is that guitar for that guitar solo, and then it goes for they will burn, dun, 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 dun. And again, that's Chopin
and Lee do karaoke coming soon. Go on.
Burning guitar solo followed by, like I said, his vocal work at this point is killer. I wish I could dream that I could do one of these lines. Like, it's...
I got 3 chains of gold.
It makes me want to sing, but at the same time, it makes me think, what's the point in opening my mouth? It's never going to be
No, it's never going to be that good. No offence.
So, segue.
This is the phone call, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the interview.
I'm 15, I'm 300 and...
With the...
What's his phone? The talk box?
I thought it was tongue box.
Tongue box, that's it.
Tongue box. And she's like, I like the movie Barbarella. Again, a reference to the movie Barbarella. And
which he references in the video, he's watching Barbarella. And...
Again, very operatic in itself, and that reference to it.
Well, it's another thing that links Diamonds and Pearls with Symbol, and why I think of them as twin albums, because Diamonds and Pearls finishes off with a Barbarella reference on Live for Love.
Yes.
Acceleration into temporal space, continuum now beginning. And then you kind of finishing off Symbol.
Yes.
With Barbarella as well. And it's interesting that he would take... Because, this segue is basically a part of the...
320-year-old robs a cradle, isn't it? That's it.
Scandal. I can literally do it live.
We should do part of this podcast as a tongue box. That'd be quite cool. We can have that effect.
It's special film, the tongue box.
It's almost like him justifying what he's done and his relationship with the Princess of Egypt of Cairo. So yeah, and that's 1 minute 29. That's quite long. I didn't think it was that long.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, go on.
What made that as something that I would never skip is because it comes from between two great musical moments, and links them, and you can go from the fact that it takes you from fire and brimstone, operatics into
what is sacrifice?
Hip hop gospel. It's just if you cut that 3 minutes of the album, not how many different styles of music are you cramming in here? How many different layers are you cramming?
This is it. The whole album is so many different styles. Many different styles.
Literally, the kitchen sink is in there. I think as one
But I think that's the biggest appeal for Prince is the albums. There's so many different styles, and it's as me as a Prince fan is like I wouldn't. If it wasn't Prince, would I listen to this style of music, or would and his music and his albums open the doors to so many different things creatively and musically as well. It's just it's like wow, and you kind of, for me personally, you kind of find yourself, you find more of yourself, and you find more of what you're interested in. And I think this and Diamonds and Pearls album was a massive influence on me. Massive influence on me.
I almost feel like this album is like a purge. It's like a purge of all of these expectations of him, all of these musical ideas, everything he wants to try, everything he, every new thing, every old thing that he people expect of him. Like he's trying to put in every old thing that people expect of him, every new idea that he has, he's trying to do Minneapolis sound because people want that, and he's trying to do hip hop because that's commercial, and he's trying to do Egypt because that's what he's Egyptian sound because that's what he's into, and it's
it all works. That's the crazy thing about it.
In this moment of ADHD, it all comes pouring out in this kind of big. The end of Akira.
Hey! Geek reference, go on.
Like this kind of crawling mass of everything.
It's like
that encompasses everything. And then afterwards, it's just like, what is there left to do but change my name?
Yeah, and it's almost like and again,
it's like
sacrifice of Victor.
It's kind of like a funeral cry, rather than teary-eyed. It's like a kind of like...
And that's what it is in terms of 3 Chains of Gold. It's him where it's the hat in the grave, isn't it? Or
and the 3 chains and the gun mic, and and the 3 chains and the hat. And it's kind of like, and weird. I wasn't even thinking about that section when I said the funeral cry, but it does end with the funeral.
Funeral, yeah.
For Prince. But it's kind of like, how, crying at funerals is different to kind of crying because you're a bit upset, but funerals is like a wailing and a getting out. And that's what I see. That's why I don't mind the clutter, the sonic clutter of this album. It's just like a complete purging of a
baptism in such.
Yeah, and kind of he emerges,
and like you said earlier, a cocoon,
a
cocoon, and coming out as a butterfly.
He creates iconography at the start of the album, and then buries it by the end.
Yeah,
You've just got me hooked on who you are, and now you're killing yourself.
But it's not. It's not just the appeal of the character, the appeal of the music. It's the appeal of the whole, not even persona, but of Prince himself.
Yeah, to add onto this narrative as well, you've not only got the movie, you've not only got like things, references on Right Divine or the Act 1, but you've also got the 3 Chains of Gold, or the album, but you've also got the 3 Chains of Gold comic.
I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah,
and I have a T-shirt with that on.
Exactly, and in that beautiful, that
I've got it on a T-shirt. Yeah, Rosalina. Thank you, Rosaline, for the T-shirt.
Yeah. Thank you, Rosalina, for the sweets.
Yeah, she's our Tootsie Pop dealer.
Tootsie Pop.
So we love you, Rosalina. Thank you.
So we've got enough Tootsie Pops. Next time, bring us a pimp rag and a cane.
And she's also my Twinkie dealer. She brings me Twinkies.
That means something else.
Oh, right, sorry. I did not know that.
Girlfriend.
Learn something new every day.
I'm just like, Lee?
So Sacrifice of Victor, how you described it earlier as gospel hip-hop, did you say?
Gospel hip-hop, yeah. Gospel hip-hop funk.
Yeah, it's very gospel, very funky.
It's angelic.
It's very angelic. It is. We sacrificed.
It's kind of like. It's weird because I think of this track in the same way I think of Positivity. It's this album closer and Live for Love. It's saying everything.
And almost Exodus as well.
Yeah, and it, to a certain extent, Batman as well. It's like this epic piece that encompasses everything that came before it.
Yeah, it's almost like you've learnt from the album, and this is the last lesson.
And Temptation, Purple Rain.
Yes.
Not every album has this moment, but there's quite a few that do. Gold.
Gold. Yeah.
He, as an artist, is transformed. He's different from the start of the album to the end of the album. He's transformed. And Sacrifice of Victor is one of those moments I think of, like Positivity, like Gold, like Exodus Has Begun, all
very biblical as well.
Like Temptation. It sums up the album perfectly and moves you on, and and when it is finished, you're ready for something completely different from Prince, and it's from what Prince. If you're ready for another Prince album that is completely different. And it is that's such a unique thing. Mm-hmm. Like, because when I listen to most artists, I'm ready for more of the same.
Yeah.
Or I'd be interested to see how they develop. But by the end of Sacrifice of Victor, I'm like, what's the next chapter?
Yeah.
What's he gonna
When's the next album?
Next. Which direction is he gonna go? Which
keeps the interest in the artist. It's like, wow, this is so amazing, and where is it going? Like you said, and it's like, I want the next fix. I want the next hit.
Yeah, and after this, I don't think I consider like the proper next album until Calm. The hits happen. Black albums re-released. So many kind of weird mini releases and stuff, everything. But after this, I think the song that comes out of this is Calm. And actually, it's interesting that it starts with water, because it's kind of like exactly like that washing.
Yeah,
I think they go from one to the other, but I'm
Yeah, but I
steps
think
ahead.
that's as me as a '90s fan. Yeah, I can agree with you that it's that flow of one into another and going from Diamonds and Pearls and then going to the Symbol album. It's that whole. They're all linked in some ways. Are we finished with Sacrifice of Victor?
No, because I haven't talked about.
He has more.
Okay, so there's a great, it's kind of autobiographical in a loose sense of the word.
And biblical verses in terms of, bloodstained table.
Yeah, cord wrapped around
my neck.
I
Which sounds like a verse from the Bible that, it's like baby born, called around. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. He's taken the pulpit to tell the congregation.
Yeah, he's telling the congregation,
Please turn to the book of Victor.
But again, so it's like his own verse of the Bible. It's his own Bible in itself.
I mean,
the book of Victor.
Yeah, it is literally. So, and we get to the end and the Steels and Prince doing that stuff, doing that stuff. It's not even vocals, it's otherworldly. The way he went from the bit when you say you gotta go for it. Go for it.
Go for it.
All the way to the... And I'm gonna keep on walking down this road. That bit.
Yeah, at the end.
And I'm not trying to do it justice. Nobody could. It is some of the best vocal work. It's some of my favourite vocal work in history. It opened up to me what the human voice can do and what a choral voices can do. And it's that bit where it goes, my name will be Victor. But I had to, because it was on cassette, I rewound that so many times because I was trying to listen to every
How many
little,
times did you damage your tape? Because I know I did.
Yeah. I went through two. I went through a cassette of it that just got wound to pieces, a CD of it that got scratched to shit.
That's you when you know you actually like someone, when you start damaging the things that you play it on.
Exactly. And not because I was being carefree, it was just I was playing it so much. And that bit where it's like, and you go back and there's this high pitch one that goes,
I think this is the point where people turn off to the podcast. I can't take it. I give up.
And it's like, you have to go back several, and you have to listen to it and listen to each layer, and I
want to listen to it now because you're singing it. Go on.
It's so gorgeous. I might even just include it, and fuck it, I might just include it and play it, and it's just this sumptuous gorgeousness, and then it ends with Amen.
Yeah, again, biblical reference, and it finishes off of
and boom.
In the present day, you made me, and then Amen.
Almost like the Big Bang at the end of it. I think it's Amen. Boom.
That's it.
And the Big Bang, and then, if you play that, start that 18-year-old, it will perfect. Comes out of it perfectly.
Yeah.
But cleanly, like you've been that Amen and that Victor bit. It's just kind of like washed out the last bit of the purge.
I like your purge. I like that.
And oh my god, this album leaves me exhausted, and it's a lot to take in. But
18 tracks, or if you include the segues.
We haven't even talked about the remixes.
I know, and that's quite ironic for you. You've not mentioned the remixes. Do you want to talk about the remixes?
Okay, let's go through this.
Right, so we've got all this.
Let's start with this shit. Well, mostly the remixes that I kind of talk about is My Name is Prince. Now, there's some poor choices with some of the synths. They haven't aged so well. But I have to mention the house mix
of My Name is Prince.
That just is such a movie.
What's your favourite out of all the remixes? What's your favourite one?
Original mix edit, because it takes My Name is Prince and extends it out.
How long is that one?
Original mix edit would be, let's have a look, 806.
Yeah,
and that's the edit. The frustrating thing about this is original mix edit. Now, what the shit did you edit out? Because you don't need to be editing out anything. Add it more.
Do you think we'll get a re-release of this album because of or something, anything from.
I hope Diamond. I hope not only a re-release of this album, but a release of this album with the original segues. Now that you don't,
because they're not all included.
Yeah, I mean, you could just do a digital download that comes with the vinyl of the original version.
And obviously, a re-release of 3 Chains of Gold as well. A digital re-release of 3 Chains of Gold.
I want them to go back to the 35mm print and do a 4K scan of that.
Of that as a
3 Chains of Gold. I want to go back to the print. Don't kind of,
because there's no digital version that I know of, is there? Laserdisc, yeah.
Which is basically less than DVD.
Less than DVD.
So this deserves...
Have you got the Laserdisc version of 3?
No, I will be buying that for myself as a Christmas present.
To Chopin from Chopin.
But it has to be a perfect Japanese one, with the...
And we can hear the Prince fan go, I've got it.
With the Obi stripe and stuff. I haven't got around to getting that one yet. I mean...
I've got the VHS tape of
Yeah.
3 Chains of Gold. I've got that.
I remember getting that from Woolworths in Camden. And
I don't know how I got that. I'm sure I got that as a Christmas present. I didn't even know it existed. I got that, and I remember it was on the back.